Start recording. Greetings YouTube, this is Mordred here to help new players coming in for the Return to World event, or people who have tried World and not really had much success with it for various reasons. This will be mostly dedicated to those players who do not want to have to stick with meta builds or spend too much time doing extraneous things instead of just playing the game. Now let's go ahead and get through this cutscene, and I'll be right back with you. The primary thing I'm going to be showing you is actually in low rank, and it is the fact that in low rank you do not need to worry about gear the way you do in high rank or master rank, or well, Iceborne essentially, because in low rank the vast majority of any gear set will work, simply because the monsters in low rank are not nearly what they are in high rank or master rank. Yes, in high rank and master rank they do get more health, they do more damage, but the primary problem, at least as far as I found, isn't really even either one of those. It's the speed and the rhythm of the tempo of the fight that really screws with people. And in high rank, low rank, they're a lot slower and a lot easier to read. This is especially true with stuff like Jagras, great Jagras. The combo potential and speed of these monsters mean that it is far easier to learn a monster's attack patterns in low rank, and by taking your time instead of trying to rush through to get to the hardest content and most challenging content, you're going to have a lot more fun when you're playing that hard content. Now let's finish this little prologue section so I can go into a bit more detail. But I'm going to end this first video right after the Great Jagras, and in the hopes that I can actually show you the 4 out of the 5 pieces that you can get before the desert area that I'm going to be using on this in the low rank of this playthrough. And there are reasons for each of those, and I'm talking during a cutscene. The problem in showing this is that really, given that I'm new to both recording and editing videos, you will notice that I seem to stutter, and part of that is, yes, the way I talk. The other part of it, however, is nervousness, because this is my first video for YouTube. So if you notice any ways I can improve upon with both talking, explaining things, and actually editing the videos, please do comment on it. As I said, this first video is going to end at Great Jagras, which is going to make this a pretty long video. And I'm going to be showing you some things in every one of these quests to help with preparing for Great Jagras. Right now, it's just getting through, showing you a bit of ways to get through this little prologue a bit quicker. There's no real way to do it fast, in all honesty, but you can get through it a bit quicker than normal. For instance, you don't need to stick with the handler for this first part. You do in the second, because the way that's scripted. But as soon as you get through these vines, you're going to get the original cutscene right here. That cutscene is going to force you right up to the front, where, well, it's going to end, and you're going to be in control right where the cutscene ends. And as soon as you do, instead of trying to figure out where you're at, just run backwards. After all, they walked forward off of the platform, so run backwards and then hide. these Jagras also do not redetect you after the little tutorial for the stealth mechanic, because as soon as they as soon as they, shall we say, lose detection, they're just gonna run. They don't even care to, even if you were to run over there to where they're at, they're not gonna care, because they have not redetected you, and so it just continues. Now the second part, you do have to wait for the handler, as you could probably tell by that little second where I ran up to it. It won't let you through. And so this part you do have to stick with the handler, which does make this part take longer than it really should. As I was saying, two of the pieces of the armor that I'm going to wear will be just normal bone. Attack boost and health boost. Very simple. Don't need much more input from it. And the armor, yes, the armor on it, the defense on it, not the best. But again, this is low rank. You don't need that much armor. And so instead, we're going to be making, as I said, a basic set that can be used from the beginning of low rank to the end of low rank, all the way up to high rank, without having to do any real armor crafting past that, in order to allow you to save your materials for your weapons and experimenting with your weapons, whether that be weapon styles, weapon elements, and other such things. And there's your field team leader. Enjoy him. He's going to be, honestly, he's one of the more well-developed characters, I think. I mean, he's certainly not, shall we say, the Admiral, but at the same time, he's better than the Handler, for instance. Handler gets herself and you killed multiple times.
What are you waiting for? Get over here.
And all for food. Her obsession with food is ugh.
Welcome to Esther. Your reputations precede you. Well,
alright, there we go.
okay.
Now the other part of my voice is likely, honestly, probably the volume of it. I don't know how I'm sounding right now, so, and I won't know until I'm editing the video. So please excuse any volume dips and highs and lows. I'll try to smooth those out in the editing, but again, I am new to editing. The other two pieces that you're going to see in this, of armor at least, that you're going to see in this video, are going to be the Kestodon braces, no, guards, for both the high armor value on them and the critical that you're going to get from after doing a slide. Because there are a lot of areas in every map that you're going to end up sliding down, at least when you're actually sprinting through them, and so that's going to help a lot. The other piece, the waist, will be the Great Jagras waist. The Great Jagras waist's Fortify will be of massive help for new players. It's the Fortify carried me through my first playthrough of low rank, and I always keep it on all of my characters in every Monster Hunter, because you're going to get comboed at some point. You're going to get knocked out, you're going to get concussed, whatever you want to call it. And so having something that rewards you and makes you even harder to kill the next time is of massive benefit. The only piece you won't be seeing in this video is the legs, because you won't be getting those until the second area with during the best quest the escort quest. There's a couple tricks I'll be showing you on that one too, but for the most part, what I'm going to be showing you amount to things to make your life and in the progression and story easier and smoother. Some of them will be miscellaneous and probably things you've noticed yourself. Others will be things that aren't really talked about. And maybe some things that just you don't think about.
After tracking the fifth fleet, they're a fine. I'd like to say
Thank you, sir.
this here is the Commission's core team. You should all get to know them.
Looking forward to it.
Now, down the latest month's research
Well,
Fifth's help, we will find the missing link.
Here, here. Now what?
Hunters. They start by inventing.
Right.
Everyone else, you know the drill. Make sure these hunters have everything they need.
Now we're talking.
You two.
You heard him.
The fifth banner. All right. Dismissed.
Now, you will have noticed that I currently have the Guardian armor equipped, but that was honestly just to get through the character creation faster because, well, character creation. This is not a character that I really am going to be playing beyond this series. And I do have other characters that are even further and have, Fatalis armor already. This is going to be showing you how to get to a point there, to a point where you can actually get to Fatalis, but it's not going to go beyond that. Now, I'm using the Lance, both because I am not that great with the Lance, but despite the fact that it's my favorite weapon, it's also the one I'm most comfortable with, despite the fact that I'm not great with it.
Just talk to the housekeeper to get started.
And so, for those of you who, like myself, like the Lance and are going to use it during your playthrough, you can change the, I believe it's the gauntlets, to something that has guard on it, but I really wouldn't recommend it. Guard is really only good in 3 or 5 points, and until you can get 3 to 5 guard, well, the guard skill, it doesn't make a difference. High rank, yes, I'll be building a powerful guard set, but until then, just use simple things. Go with stuff that you like, because all of it works. As in, I have actually gone through low rank with just chainmail, simply because I like the look of it. I really wouldn't recommend it. Going through low rank with no skills is a massive pain in the ass, but it's possible. It's just very time consuming and very much irritating. Now, first quest here, the normal Jagras hunts. One of the things that I'll be showing you is that you can actually do more than just the Jagras hunt on this quest. If you just want to get through the game, and don't care about actually, shall we say, taking your time and enjoying yourself, then that is something you can do, but I would not recommend it. Yes, Master Gatherer. One of the things, though, and I'm going to be showing you here, is that take your time with your quests. There is no time limit 50 minutes. There's no reason to not take your time, especially on quests that you know are going to be simple. Severin Jagras, they tell you where the Jagras are at. There's no point in not taking your time with it. You can, if you want, you can explore the entire map and open all of it up with this single quest. I would recommend waiting until the expedition, but you can. However, what I am going to do, and I forgot to grab the herbs back there. See, even experts sometimes forget things in this game. Don't worry if you forget things. It's going to happen. You're going to do it, and you're going to do it a lot. Is that
Ready your weapon before attacking. Keep in mind that what you're able to do
you can gather a lot of materials
when you're investigating,
by just taking your time to enjoy yourself.
you generally want to keep your weapon sheathed.
Like right now, I'm going over to pick up some account items that will give research points that I can use for my next meal instead of raw cash. Because raw cash will be used for armor, weapons, upgrades. And for our armor upgrades, we're going to need quite a bit of it. However, guess what? By needing more cash, by needing more armor spheres, you can take your time to enjoy yourself a bit more. You know what? I'm going to stop talking a little bit. Just the primary thing. In this quest, well, the primary thing in this quest is going to be to keep and gather materials. Because again, take your time, enjoy yourself, keep your eyes on materials and actually enjoying the game, because this is a long game.
Guard while waiting for a chance to strike. You can use the slinger with your weapon drawn. Look for the perfect moment, then fire.
Dodge their attacks. Don't forget, you can guard too.
Most of the time, before getting any Kestodon materials, you would have already done the Jagras quest and gone to the actual Kestodon quest. Look at that, Kestodon spawn.
Create some distance and use a whetstone.
Now, the other piece of advice I'm going to give you right here is that for the very start of the game, don't worry about weapon damage, worry about weapon sharpness. The longer the sharpness bar before things start bouncing off, the easier of a time you're going to have. Because bouncing not only reduces damage, it makes you use sharpness faster anyway. So, the other part here is that keep your herbs, your potions. Excuse me. The more potions you have, the easier your life is. By a long shot, in all honesty. There's a little spot I'm going to be showing you after I knock out this first group of Jagras that has massive amounts of ore. And it's honestly not hard to find.
Those are the monsters we're after.
However, the first time I found it was a bit weird. I didn't find it until I was hunting a damn Rathalos down there. And I've never been able to figure out why a Rathalos would try to run for that area. They did.
You're on the run.
But I have no idea why, because, and it was just weird.
Grab all the monster materials you can. You can use them at the smithy.
Oh, look at that. I just got lucky. Okay, yeah. The little spot I'm showing you here is that little spot right there on the map. It has a massive quantity of iron, primarily mining nodes, but it also has other stuff as well. But as I was actually, I want to tell you, I was hunting a Rathalos, Rathalos. These areas, map. He decided to run down right here, and after I beat the crap out of him there, and he decided to run away, he ran this way into this area. I had no idea they could even come this way, and so it confused the fuck out of me. But I mean, more materials, more materials. I have spent entire expeditions, 30 minutes or so, just in this little spot, just gathering ore and bones and others, and the few other material types that are here, such as these mushrooms. Mushrooms take a while to respawn, but they're useful in their own right. Primarily for that research point. You want those research. You want a lot of research. But this is honestly enough iron to make at least 7 to 8 weapons up to iron tier 2, which is honestly good enough for up until the Barrioth fight in the Wasteland. So, because I've used it up till then. And this quest is, outside of that, really, really simple. I mean, go up, gather all your mats at the bottom half of the map, go up that part, then come in and kill the rest of the Jaggers. This first time you do this quest,
Whoops.
the main quest version, instead of just the normal kill 7 Jaggers quest that you're going to get after you complete this,
Use whatever you can.
that version of the quest has way less Jaggers that are guaranteed to spawn. And so you actually have even more time to do things. Because I had, like, look at this. I have never seen this massively populated in a normal version of the quest.
Look out! Your health is low. Keep your distance and use a potion.
I know, you dumb bitch. I hate the handler. At least the normal version of it. And there we go. Now they finally stopped trying to attack me. Should have, at least. There. Now with this little quest done, I can go make the first 2 pieces that I'm going to be using to show you. But again, it's a lot of people will tell you that Monster Hunter is a skill game. And when they say skill game, they don't mean skill like Dark Souls. They mean actual skills on your armor. And this is true. But at the same time, it's also a game of just patience and the willingness to practice what you're doing. Like, if I was a new player right now instead of doing what I did my first time through Monster Hunter World, which was use the Guardian armor all the way through until Iceborne, that left me really, really screwed in terms of learning how to play the game. Because with the Guardian armor, you are strong enough to, as long as after high rank, you start upgrading the Guardian armor
Now that you've got
and
some
put
materials, why don't we head over to the smithy to see what you can
things
do with them?
and put gems and decorations into the Guardian armor, would leave you with a massive skill gap between you and a player who came up to Iceborne the normal way, with normal gear. And I would end up depending on other people for most of my combat when I really shouldn't have needed to. And as I'm going to be showing you now, this is a far different case. 3 materials for the Castodons. You son of a bitch. Anyway, these are your headpiece and chest piece for the next difficulty, for that entire difficulty. And honestly, they mesh really well with the Castodon cards. So, I mean, you're not looking too bad. And yes, fashion is a thing in Monster Hunter. No matter what some people will tell you, fashion is a thing. See, look, it takes 2 in order to upgrade a basic one. And you could make a defender weapon. I honestly wouldn't recommend it because that's far more powerful than anything you need right now. And you honestly should not aim to be overpowered until you actually reach Iceborne. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you here is, let's take a look at the Greatsword, for instance. Your normal Iron Greatsword has 384 attack and a good amount of yellow sharpness. The Bone Blade has 480, so you'll kill things in less hits. But your yellow sharpness meter is massively, massively small. In fact, you can only barely get green sharpness if you happen to be using 5 levels of handicraft, I think it is. I can't remember the actual name of it off the top of my head, but any veteran players who are listening to this and watching this know what I meant. And you have, with Greatsword, it's not as big of a difference, because that's still, I think, like 20 hits of yellow. And with the charged Greatsword attacks, those 20 hits are going to hit like a truck. But as a new player, if you were going to go Greatsword and attempted to go one way or the other, I would honestly recommend you to use Iron right now for the misses. Because you're going to miss. And misses are still going to eat up your sharpness. And you're also going to get non-fully charged hits landing. Guess which one is more of those non-charged hits? Iron. Sword and shield. Not as big a difference on the Greatsword, but there's still a difference. And as such, I would recommend you take and use primarily iron weapons for at least a little ways into low rank. Maybe even all the way up to high rank if you have the patience for it. Your bone weapons are going to kill things a lot faster. They're just, you don't need the power. You need the practice right now. And as such, I would again recommend you to, that's where I can, there we go. I would recommend you to not pay attention to raw power right now, and instead look at sharpness to keep your ability to just play That's the thing that's really going to actually give you the ability to not worry about what you're doing and just enjoy the game.
Hey there, partner.
Practice.
Ah,
And here is
you can pick up
the
quests
Great
from the
Jaguars
quest board, too.
quest coming up after you take care of the Castodons here.
Same quest that I found. So
Now,
don't worry,
what I
I'll
could do
check two places.
is take care of the Castodons for the first of these 2 quests in the same actual journey outside. But I'm not. I'm going to take care of the Castodons here. Then I'm going to go ahead and kill the Great Jaguars here. Now, one of the things that I'm going to tell you right now, make sure to always eat the food at 100 base health with no skills equipped.
Okay, our job
A,
is to cull
a
certain number of
in-game meal that has
getting out of hand.
Want to get going?
all fresh ingredients gives you an extra 50 health. That's a 50% increase. It's also giving you 25 to 100 stamina. I can't remember the stamina numbers off the top of my head. Forgive me. With the stamina numbers, that's again a 50 to 100% increase. It's massive.
Be careful.
Thought I was on a Great Jaguars quest again. Forgot I had to take care of the Castodons first.
There we are. Those, my
The-
friend, are Castodons. Let's see you take them out on your own.
Honestly, the other part of it, try to make sure you carry some kind of food item. To be precise, well-made steak on you at all times in the quests. I am not that great with item setups. I use them, but I've never been good with them. And so I would actually recommend, again, I would recommend looking at Eric's Gaming. I would also recommend, before you go into high rank, after you have some practice with your chosen weapon, going to Eric's Gaming to look at their weapon workshop. Because he makes a very, well, he and his team, in all honesty, make some very good weapon tutorials. I have used them before for other weapons that I'm not good with,
All right.
and yet
For another group.
his videos
The Castodon
are the best for world
monsters lurking in this forest.
on every weapon in the game. You have other weapon tutorials for other weapons by other YouTubers, but they're just not as good. And I can't really blame them for that, because really, Aries Gaming is one of the most experienced Monster Hunter YouTube channels on YouTube. There is a qualitative experience difference on them and what they're doing. On top of that, again, Eric's Gaming has an entire team. He has people with editing, massive editing experience, people with other experiences with other weapons, and so he can spend a lot more time focused on making a video the best it can be, with a lot more effort into it, and still manage it in a way that other YouTube channels that are similar just can't. And see, that's a benefit of iron over bone right there. It took much longer to have to sharpen my weapon, which means more time just attacking. Less time spent trying to sharpen a weapon. And I do say try, because there are times where, a lot of times actually, where you'll get interrupted instead of actually managing to finish sharpening your weapon, which means another time you have to at least attempt the sharpen. There's that one finished. The
Good work.
there we go.
Just about wraps up our work here. Wait. Hey, come here.
We have just enough time to get that Kestodon shell and these bone piles, along with grabbing some slinger ammo, before the cutscene will force trigger for us. At least as far as my experience normally goes. Sometimes you have more time, sometimes you have less time. It's not always a guaranteed thing.
Here.
One moment.
Those catchup. Things up with
And there's Big Boy. This is going to be your first large monster hunt. And there is a big difference between large monsters and small normal monsters. The first is that large monsters are either very easy to read for you or very small to read for you, with not a lot of in between.
You need to call your friends for help. Go to the menu and select SOS Flare to signal. If you're going to need friends,
The other part of it is that he and most large monsters for quests start in pretty much the same spot for a quest every single time. Anytime you go to do this quest right here, this specific Great Jagras will always be right here. Anytime you're doing a normal Great Jagras hunt, a non-story quest, he's always going to spawn right about here and going to start wandering outside. If you run out of the southwest camp right about here, you can always get a surprise attack on him. See, he's always going to be, this specific one is always going to be right here.
Dodge their attacks. Don't forget you can guard too.
That's another thing. Even with lances and gun lances and sword and shield, you're not going to block every attack, no matter how much you wish you could. Because there are moments where you will be in the middle of a dodge or in the middle of an attack, and you will be interrupted before you get a chance to fully put up your guard. That's going to happen. Learn to live with it. If you're not a person with a shield, well, you're not using a weapon with a shield, you're still going to get interrupted in between attacks, because that's just a thing that happens. Live with it. If you want a thing that can allow a game that allows you to never have to worry about getting hit if you're good enough, go play Dark Souls or Armored Core, one of the two. I am certainly not that good, but wrong button. Forgive me if it's taking a while, but lances are not a fast weapon to kill with. They're a defensive wall weapon where you are a moving fortress, not a weapon that's meant to kill things as fast as the damn greatsword does. Gun lance, you can make an argument. Gun lances, when played right, have some of the highest damage potential in the world.
Okay,
But,
monster's tired. Now's your chance to deal some serious damage. Land your claw on a monster to grapple to it. See? The spot you hit has been softened up.
That's another thing.
Sending a monster flying into a
Once
wall
you
will be
get
wide
a
open to
moment,
attack.
make sure to use your clutch claw attack. It's very useful. It softens up, you do more damage, and if you have crit weakness exploit, you'll get an extra up to 50% crit chance on that part of the monster's body. And I don't think I need to explain just how strong 50% crit is to anybody who's a gamer.
Watch out when a monster's enraged. It's better to hold off on your claw until things calm down a bit.
Oh boy, that monster's really mad now. Be ready for some vicious attacks.
That's the other thing. Great Jaggers is predictable as hell. Doesn't mean you're not still going to get hit with some things. Because you may have noticed, I was like right there. You're going to get hit. You're going to get interrupted out of things you're doing. Live with it and keep fighting. That's the other big thing that's going to allow you to actually enjoy yourself in Monster Hunter. Learn to not just live with your mistakes, but also to find them funny. You're gonna make stupid mistakes. It's part of stuff Monster Hunters live with. I've made them in World, I've made them in Rise, I've made them in God Eater, I've made them in God Eater 2, God Eater 3. It's just a thing that happens.
Look, the monster's almost done for. Chances are it'll retreat to its nest to recuperate.
And your best chance of getting less of them is honestly nothing but time played. That is it. The more time you've played the game, the more you've fought the same monster, the more you're gonna be able to read what they're doing. It's been over a couple years since the last time I played Monster Hunter with any significant length of time back to back, so I'm out rusty and out of practice. But at the same time, I'm very good with the actual game itself, and I need something for a YouTube channel, being honest, but still. Yes, I'm hoping to make a large channel, but I really care more right now about helping you new players through, again, your first time really playing through Monster Hunter. This quest is almost finished, and once these... You die now. Keep an eye on the smaller monsters. They're going to irritate the piss out of you anytime you're fighting a large monster. Any small monster that joins in, and they will join in, I'm going to tell you now, is going to end up interrupting your damn hits, attacking you while you're in the middle of an attack, and other shit. It's, again, just something you have to live with. And that's the other thing that's going to happen, getting interrupted in clutch claw attacks and such. Because again, it's just something that's going to happen. Learn to live with it. And this will be my last quest for this video. And there we go.
Okay, let's head back and report to the old man.
I very well might need to do another one, another Great Jagras kill, in order to get the materials needed for the Great Jagras waste. If that's the case, I will be doing it off screen, so you don't have to see me doing any more Great Jagras kills than you really need to. But I will tell you in advance whether I have done that or not, whether I'm going to need to, and then I will do it off screen, and then when I start the next video, I will tell you I have done so. Just so you don't think I'm doing anything with mods or anything, because I don't have any installed. And no, unless you're playing Rise, there's not a way to skip mission timer and just go ahead and return back to Astera. I have no idea why, but you need all the materials you can get. This is a Pack Rats game, a Hoarders game as well, and I can tell you from experience, accidentally selling a mantle or gem or multiple mantles and gems in the same quest, as what happened one time on an expedition, is very, 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 very painful.
Once the camp is set up, you can go after that puka.
Now back to the final thing I'm going to show you for this episode is going to be, again, the two final pieces of gear that I'm going to show you. This is a quest. I'm not going to do any of the side quests on screen because, again, I don't think I need to. However, and I got what I needed. The Castodon guards for crit. The affinity sliding. It increases. Oh, last time I saw it, it was 15%. That's a 30% crit for sliding. So massive, massive damage increase, making a lot of things easier. And then again, fortifying attack 10%. Huh. Well, it's been even 2 years. I'm glad I remembered as closely as I did. But again, it's up to 2 times. So on your third life of a quest, you have 20% attack and 30% defense boost. Again, massive. You're gonna get knocked out. It's just gonna happen. And I went and did Great Jagras with the first level iron. Well, that shows you don't need bone, considering normally most people would go in with bone 2. I did it with iron 1. And didn't notice I did it. Now, if you're greatsword, I would actually recommend making the Great Jagras blade right here. In high rank, the final level of the Jagras blade is the strongest greatsword with the most potential for damage. After we get through the wasteland area, the desert, I can never remember the name off the top of my head, we're going to make the Baroth blade because it is the second strongest in high rank, as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't need at least things like arena coins or things like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and quit right now so I can go edit this video. Have a nice day.